Hello and welcome to Some Dude Shed, the podcast from a shed. My name is Mr. Grey and I'm joined by Mr. Red and Mr. Black.
Hello. Yo.
And we will be playing a game of true or false. We each have a story to tell and we basically have to guess whether it's true or not. So these are stories from history or a story about a crazy invention or well, who knows? We don't actually know.
I believe you're taking it first, Mr. Gray.
All right, yes, absolutely, yes. So my story is, well, it's not really a story, it's more of an invention. This is from way back. We're going back to like 4,000 years ago-ish, from the land with the second most pyramids in the world.
Aztec land?
No, Egypt. You're looking at me quite strangely.
I thought Egypt was the most pyramids in the world.
No, Mexico's got more pyramids than Egypt.
All right, that's blew my mind there.
But they're tiny, aren't they, in comparison?
Well, some of them, yeah. They're not all big in Egypt anyway. Anyway, point is, so roughly the 2200s BC, there was a pharaoh called Pepi II. That's the guy's name.
Was he related to a frog?
No, he wasn't. His parents were two humans.
Okay.
Who may or may not have been related, but that's beside the point. He ruled for ages. Historians say he either ruled from anywhere between 94 and 64 years. So he ruled for ages. He came to the throne when he was a child, that's what they know. And he was very old when it ended.
So anywhere between 64 and 94 years?
64 and 94 years.
Well, the latter there seems a bit optimistic.
It is a bit, yeah, but I mean, their healthcare wasn't terrible. They would have lived quite healthy lives, got plenty of sun.
Or were the priests, that were the high priests here, just pulling the old pensioner scam?
It's possible. So this was in pyramid building times, way back, and he was very famous for being quite a prominent builder. So he built loads of temples, and his own pyramid was quite spectacular as well. But the most famous thing he was famous for is how he dealt with pests. So in his palace, which was quite big, he had a lot of rooms in the palace, and he had a lot of slaves as well. And these slaves were they didn't always have something to do. So, and he was getting sick to death of just being covered in flies all the time, because living by the Nile, it's hot, it's humid, it's insects everywhere. So he came up with a plan to get rid of them. What he got his slaves. He got one slave in each room of his palace. And he basically asked them to stand in a corner, naked, while covered in honey. And this would attract the flies. The flies would get stuck in the honey and die.
Why?
Why? Oh, he doesn't like flies.
Oh, okay. I thought you, for some strange reason, said he put the honey on himself. Oh
no! That would make the problem way worse.
Yeah.
He put the honey on the slaves. Got the slaves to stand in the corner.
Okay.
And then he could walk about just as normal. And apparently he took his new gadget outside. So whenever he went out and about, he always had a slave.
Oh, could you imagine falling face first into the sand?
Into the sand? Oh, no. I bet that must have happened. When he went out and about, apparently he went out with a slave covered in honey. Just kind of, I'd say with him, like at least 20 feet away, just to attract all the flies.
Right.
That's basically it.
Wait, where's this written in? Like, what's the?
Wait, hold on a minute. I'm just thinking. It's like the guy is covered in honey. It must be like a fucking honey roast gammon or something. That's all they can smell.
Well, yeah, I imagine he would be really uncomfortable
in that hot sun,
standing there in. Well, I suppose maybe he'd be in the shade, but it would be hot anyway.
Yeah, but whenever he goes outside, though,
I suppose it wouldn't stick to. It wouldn't like solidify. It would be like more melty, wouldn't it, if it's hot?
Yeah, if you heat it up, it starts to ooze more. Like,
yeah, it's really handy as well, because I mean, you could have the honey in like a bowl or something, but no, you just put it on a person, and then you don't even need to carry it outside. It just walks out.
So you're probably picturing, though, like literally caked in a thick, shiny layer of honey, but there's probably just like brushed on slightly, so they're a wee bit sticky. It could have just been like that.
Well, these were royal slaves. They had a lot of honey.
Because if they were covered massively in honey, the place would be covered in honey, and the floors would be sticky, and that would annoy the Pharaoh even more, probably.
probably have a point there. Yeah, they probably would have just put a bit of honey on their head or something.
No, just lightly brushed it on, but just like a thin layer of it. It's still really sticky as a thin layer, so but it wouldn't like melt and just drip off and go onto the floor. And
Anyway, what Mr. Black was going to ask there? Where's this written?
Where is it written? Well, funny you should mention that. I don't know, but
okay,
there are an awful lot of sources about this king from 4,000 years ago.
confirmed sources.
There are lots of sources from the king. They found because I couldn't find the one that mentions the honey thing. I couldn't actually find that many facts about the king.
Yeah, but
so
you have
maybe
sources confirming like.
Well, there's there's a description on a temple. There's a decree of the king found at a temple of Makanquari. Decree of the king found at Abydos. 3 decrees of the king found at Coptos. Inscriptions in Cairo mentioning the said festival of the king.
So plenty of yeah.
So there's loads of stuff written about
So
it.
you're saying it happened then, like.
Well,
Yeah, you also.
Of course, I'm saying it happened. That's the game, Mr. Black.
I'm gonna say true because whenever I asked or whenever I said, well, Hamzy fell over in the sand, and you're like that. Oh, that must have been awful.
Yeah.
It kind of like seemed like an off the cuff comment to say that must have been awful.
Well, it must have been.
So based on that,
just to be honeyed and sanded, it sounds like a punishment.
On that, I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Well, I think it's true as well because he said it was like written in this, then written in that, and mentioned in this. So it's like,
I don't actually know what it's written in, but there's an awful lot of information about this guy. Probably because he had such a long reign, so many people could write.
I don't know. It's just the way he responded to the guy and honey falling into the sand. It's the way he responded made me think, oh, it is actually true.
I'm gonna say true as well.
It is quite a funny idea of somebody covered in honey and just falling over.
Yeah, but you
like
said
all
must
this
have been
shit.
awful, so it just makes me think,
yeah.
give it away there.
Even just falls in anything, like you fall into a fruit stand, everything just sticks to you.
He's covered in grapes.
Yeah.
Dear. Well, I can tell you guys that the good news is this is actually true.
Yay.
The Pharaoh Pepi II did
Not a frog.
did have naked slaves in each room covered in honey to attract flies.
Holy fuck.
So that's pretty extravagant,
Just a wee
Wow.
But moving on.
bit. Moving on. And I guess it's somewhere mine takes place.
World War II.
Yes.
Fuck.
Already.
Oh yes, World War II. I remember that.
It was what a time to be alive.
It was one of the few times when the sequel was bigger than the original.
Right. Anyway. Summer 1941. German Panzer divisions start pushing into the Soviet Union.
All right.
Operation Barbarossa is well underway. Spring 1942. There's a deadlock. The Germans and Russians are at each other's throats. So
Is this Stalingrad?
it's just across the entire Soviet line.
Oh, so the
German
whole
Soviet line.
Eastern Front.
The whole Eastern Front. Just pure misery and suffering.
From what I understand, it wasn't a pleasant time.
A Soviet pilot by the name of Khrushchev was conducting a reconnaissance mission over German lines when he was in a Sturmovik Mark II, when he was set upon by a number of German planes. Sadly, he was shot down and crash landed near the town of Kirulin, I think it's called. Anyway, so he was shot down and the wreckage landed near this town. One of the German pilots who had shot him down decided to land and check out the wreckage of the plane for any souvenirs.
For souvenirs,
Of
course.
And as the German pilot was out of his plane, you know the way whenever they tell you, if you ever get out of your car, don't leave an engine running.
Yeah.
So somebody just doesn't jump in and drives off with it.
Did someone jump in his plane and drive off with it?
Well, what do we call him?
Khrushchev.
Well, Khrushchev had bailed out, and he was hiding on a tree line near where the German had landed his plane. And when the German got out of his plane, went and checked out Khrushchev's plane, Khrushchev took that opportunity to be like, right, and made a run for the German's Messerschmitt, jumped in, and started taking off, and the German who was looking for souvenirs turned around and was like, oh, scheisse. And Khrushchev took off and managed to fly the plane back to the Soviet lines. So,
Oof.
but being in a German plane kind of made it a bit awkward.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a dangerous opportunity.
So between a mixture of dipping his wings back and forth, trying to avoid being shot down, and the secret signal, he managed to land safely. And that was it.
So basically, the story is a German parked his plane, and then a Russian.
The German
Stole-
shot that the
stole
German the German helped to shoot down a Russian plane, which was on a reconnaissance mission, and he landed the pick for souvenirs, and the Russian he just shot down was stole it and went back to his own lines.
Brilliant. So,
Yeah, getting GTA flashbacks.
so what did? So was it like a kind of like a side quest for Russian pilots to, or for any Russian to just get hold of German equipment like that? Would that have been an objective?
Yes, well, any German armor or weapons, just anything that was new, or even if it wasn't new, then they could always be brought back for testing. If they already knew what a certain piece of equipment did and had it in, had the details of it inside out, then it could just be pushed into service on the opposite side. So, what the Germans did, is like whenever they invaded France, the French left a load of tanks to sit about, so the Germans started using the tanks. So it would just be pressed into service for their side if it's captured. If it didn't need to be, if it wasn't needed for research purposes.
You give it a bit of a repaint and good
Yeah.
to go.
I imagine this man may have got a medal for bringing back a BF-109.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. He did lose his Russian plane in the process.
Or was it a BF-109? No, it was a Messerschmitt. I'm not sure. Anyway, he bought back the German plane.
I imagine the German was probably told off a lot when he got back.
He probably never went back.
he probably just pretended to be captured and head out in the forest or something.
Oh, I lost the plane. What? No, it could have been that he landed to try and confirm the kill as well. Like, because then he would have been able to get ID and be like, yeah, I killed this guy.
You don't need to do that.
As a confirmed kill.
You don't need to do that in a
Pilots
plane.
wouldn't need
You
to.
shoot the plane down, the plane's gone. It's threat destroyed.
Yeah, but was it not like a thing about pilots? Like, then they kind of wanted to be able to confirm their kills. Like, but there's like a bit of competition between pilots to see who got the most kills.
No, as soon as you shoot down a plane, it's confirmed kill.
Yeah, but how
It's
though?
nothing-
How
it's nothing to do with the enemy pilots. It's to do with the plane.
Yeah, but then how do you then go back and be like, yeah, I killed
Because you
100
see
people?
the plane
Prove it.
smash into the ground.
No, but then that's just you then
It's
going back
it's backed
and telling
up by
us.
your wing mates.
Okay,
If you, matter of fact, many of the medals that you're elected by somebody else for the medal.
oh,
And if you put down that you killed so many planes, then you're usually asked to confirm. These things can be exaggerated. Like squadrons could be in on it together to exaggerate the numbers shot
Yeah.
down, but it's usually not a good idea because usually you're the first one in a wave formation to go in.
You'll be the one with the most kills.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you want your ace pilots in front. Again, usually not the best idea.
Yeah, you know what then? I'm gonna say true. Weirder things have happened.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that unbelievable. I can imagine it happening.
Plane jacked. That's brilliant. And the only thing I find more unbelievable is the fact he got back and landed without getting shot down. But then,
Is that secret signal, is it?
yeah, they probably just weren't expecting. Well, firstly, they probably weren't expecting a plane just to come in. He was probably flying low altitude as well.
Well, I'm sure they wouldn't have shot it the whole time because after a while they would have said, "Why is this German plane flying towards us and not shooting and waving his arms? That must be a sign. Maybe we should let him land."
But also flying erratically, like you're saying, he was like dipping his wings back and forward and all. And so it could have been they were just thinking something's not quite right here. And
Well, I think dipping your wings is the universal sign for don't shoot.
oh, is it?
Is it?
Like
I
it's-
don't know. That's just whenever you see in films and TV shows, it's like if you understand your instruction, please dip your wings.
you would have a spotter too, like on the binoculars, like for artillery guys, wouldn't you? So if you had like an artillery guy
Yes,
next to you is looking at binoculars, going, "There's only one guy in that plane. He's waving his arms like a madman."
Yes, they can see through the underside of the plane.
Well, assuming he's flying low altitude, you know what I mean? Like, and these guys are in towers watching. I don't know. I'm just speculating. True, fuck it.
Is that true?
You want to sound true?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, it's true.
Yay.
Lovely. What a hero.
That's
Pretty much.
a good story. It's pretty good. No one dies in it. Well, they do. It's war, but it's like it's funny.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on, I guess.
Oh, jeez, my story's shit, guys. I apologize. This is the night of Friday, the 23rd of August, 2019, in Toronto, Canada.
I hear they have a bit of a butter crisis over there right now.
Yep, pretty much. A slick devil is on the prowl, eyeing up a potential business to pinch under the cover of night. Then he sees it. Ah, a local business establishment. Surely easy pickings for a pretty penny, he thinks. He finds a side door and breaks in. Piece of cake, he thinks. He skulks around the place, hunting for money and other valuable goodies. The burglar comes across the kitchen, so he begins to gorge on the contents of the fridge. Boy, all this robbing gives me a hell of an appetite, he thinks. He skulks and slithers about the building some more, playing with random things, including the little photocopier, which he also found amusing. When he finds himself exhausted from his favourite pastime of pilfering, he quietly steps out and retires for the night. The next morning, the staff, who are all naturally so excited to toil away the day for the benefit of their corporate masters, found themselves shocked, horrified, and bewildered at the scene which lay before their very eyes. Desks disorderly, documents disorganized, decor dishevelled, the fridge a fine fucking mess. They only found some menial things were missing. The most he pinched was the charity box, which contained pennies for paraplegics. The staff, who were slightly sullied by the sneaky scoundrel, immediately called the police. They arrived promptly and began a sweep of the property. Not a clue of the dastardly dickhead could be found, thanks to the lack of a CCTV system. However, one officer noticed something in the paper tray of the photocopier.
Right.
A face. The face of a man wearing a trilby hat. Well, that was easy. Put out a bulletin and appealed for information from the public.
Wait, he saying this person photocopied their face?
Yeah. Thanks to police efforts, they apprehended the man later that month, thanking him for his assistance in his own arrest. So this man, when he was arsing about in the office, he thought, leans over the photocopier and just stares into the light as he hits the button.
But would you not need to have your face like right on the copy screen?
I don't think so. but-
No, because there's no, the way the work is, I forgot, but like basically there's this big light that comes across and it scans through the page, and on the lid of the photocopier there's like a white background, so that light hits the white background, and any black text that's between the white, through the page, anything that's sort of darker than white shows up in the image, so your face just has to be slightly close to the lamp, and then it'll pick up your face in the...
I don't know, it would be quite out of focus if you were far away.
No, it just picks it up as it is. There's no real like focus or anything,
Oh, okay.
unless there is. But
So basically, did this guy get arrested because he played about with a photocopier?
yeah, you also about the photocopier. The evidence is quite lacking in other areas, but he took a photocopy of his own face, and yeah,
That's amazing. Where did this happen again?
this happened in Ontario,
Oh, in Canada. yes,
So
okay.
What did he break into?
it was a local business establishment.
And what did he take?
Some food from the fridge, like some pennies, like that were in the charity box.
So he broke into an office, stole some food and some pennies, photocopied his face, and then
he was looking for money.
Jumped back out the window again.
Well, he was looking for. He
Was he high?
he was bored, I think. But he broke in. He had he's got a history of breaking into places too. He was arrested for a second incident as well, but they used the photo to identify the man
Incredible.
at the end of the month.
How much time did he get, or any?
Well, he aided in his own capture, so surely that's a reduced sentence.
That's be a little reward.
I don't
Your nick, mate, and here's some money for the assist.
I don't know how long he got, but he was arrested for another incident and also a probation violation. So he would have got probably a decent amount of time, at least 5 years.
Fuck it, I want it to be true. True.
Why would you think it's not true?
I just want it to be true.
Fair enough. But you wouldn't check though.
It's really stupid.
You wouldn't check the thing though.
Check the thing. What for the photocopied picture?
Yeah, like surely and you hear the thing coming out.
Yeah, you would have thought you'd look, but
He broke into an office to steal some pennies and some food out of the fridge.
Well, no, he went in looking, oh, this is a business. It'll have money and stuff that I can steal.
The fact that
But he was
hold on a minute. Surely he would check you're saying surely he would check the tray. Well, why the fuck would you photocopy your face in the first place?
I don't know, but maybe he never saw a photocopier. Like probably the first photocopier in Ontario. I don't know, but yeah, like
Wait,
I mean,
when did it
desks,
take
like
place?
all the desks and all were done up in 2019.
Right, I think he's seen a photocopier.
But yeah, like all the desks and all were kind of a mess, and things have been moved around, and obviously the fridge was kind of raided as well. So yeah,
Goodness, well, I'm gonna
say true. That's just, I want it to be true, but it sounds so stupid.
I
It
want
probably
it-
did
I
happen.
want it to be true as well, but I'm not gonna say true. I want to say it's too stupid, but I played this game too much, guys. I don't know.
See, the problem with my story was it was too believable.
Yes.
That's why it was easy to tell it was true. But this is so stupid. I think it must be true.
well,
It's about as stupid as having a naked man covered in honey standing in the corner to attract flies.
that was years ago though.
It was a little while ago.
This is 2019.
I'm gonna.
Some argued.
I'm
that-
gonna say true.
Some argued he wanted to get caught.
Well, yeah, probably if he used a photocopier for his face.
I think he must have been on something. They even bothered to go photocopy your bastard in face.
I'm gonna say true.
He could have just photocopied his ass or something instead.
True. What are you saying?
True.
True.
It's too stupid to be false.
You're both saying
Nobody
true.
would make that up.
Yeah, because it's like if you made that up, you would make it up thinking there's no way nobody's gonna, nobody's gonna believe this.
Well, guys, I can tell you it is true.
Brilliant.
It is true. Gary Samuel Lamb broke into a commercial property in Toronto. I tried to look everywhere to find out what it was, but it just says commercial property. 54 years old. He stopped to eat some food, leaving scraps behind. I went over the photocopier, made a photocopy of his face. They released a copy of his mugshot, and he was wearing like a little white fedora as well. And yeah, he was arrested later that month. On the bright side, Lamb now has a much clearer portrait. His mugshot.
Brilliant.
I found the photograph here for you.
Have you got the picture of the photocopy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Got to see that.
It'll be on screen.
Much appreciated, Mr. Red.
There it is.
Yep, that's him.
It's slightly cropped, but that's him.
That's fucking terrifying.
It does look a bit like a ghost.
It
But
does. It looks like a
it's
ghost.
very, very identifiable, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see in that photo how much his pupils are dilated?
Wouldn't be very much because as that light comes across, it's really bright. So but yeah.
Right. So what you're saying is all our stories were true. So
All our stories are true.
our imagination,
Nobody was caught out.
our imagination juice was running dry this week.
Yeah.
I was so certain you were both going to say false on that one.
No, because it's so stupid. Of course, it's going to be true.
It's so stupid that it's true. So you're going to have to come up with something even stupider and then we'll know it's false because you tried to make it stupid.
Tried to outdo it. Or it could just be a painfully normal story. Man goes to the shop and buys a box of pens and none of them worked.
Oh, that's not fun.
Right.
Well, on that very honest note,
Till next time.
good evening.
Bye-bye.